honored to welcome you all to today's program on certification for MSME, Business Continuity and Sustainability. JET, Zero Effect and Zero Defect and Kosher certifications. The overall growth of the manufacturing sector and the country's economy depends on competitiveness of MSMEs in the country. International companies competing in global markets focus on their competitive strength of cost, technology, innovations, service, delivery, lean manufacturing, and defect-free products for zero defect and zero effect, that is JET. Realizing that we must quickly set the pace for the template of industrialization and export fueled growth to make a mark in global markets and improve our GDP. Honorable Prime Minister on the 68th Independence Day urged the industry, especially the micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) of India, to manufacture goods in the country with zero defects and to ensure that the goods have zero effect on the environment. MSME Sustainable JET certification is implemented to create awareness among MSMEs about zero defect, zero effect practices and motivate and incentivize them for JET certification while also encouraging them to become MSME champions. I thank Srimati Kantu Kosuruji for her support in conducting the program and also Sri Sivaram Prasad Garu of MSME DFO for his support. The other session on kosher certification gives the details about it, and FTCCI is very thankful to Star Kosher for supporting us in conducting this session. I thank Mr. Rabi Joel Weinberger for coming to Hyderabad all the way from US to to tell the entrepreneurs about kosher certification and its benefits. My colleagues, Mr. Srinivas Garimela, chair of the IDC committee, will give the program details. Thank you all.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A big welcome to our guests of the day, Mrs. Kanti and Mr. Weinberger. And then our salutations to our President, Mr. Singhal, our Vice President, Mr. Maheshwari, and of course, the most important people sitting opposite me. These two programs are extremely important. One of the reasons why we chose to combine these programs on a particular day for certifications is they're equally important in terms of your quality certifications. One is zero defect, zero effect is now gathering momentum in India because as we aim to become a Vikshit Bharat, that is developed India in 2047, that's 100 years from independence. That's a very tall order. If you have to achieve that status in the next 25, 30 years, the most important thing is being able to achieve excellence in whatever we do. Whether we manufacture product or we render a service, we have to achieve our excellence. And excellence comes out of quality. Excellence comes out of zero defect. Excellence comes out of being intolerant towards bad quality. From my personal experience, I can speak that bad quality is more expensive than good quality. Because bad quality, the problem is your branding gets a setback. People stop buying your product. And in case you want to maintain the same quality and you produce a bad quality product, you have to reproduce that product. So bad quality is always expensive than good quality. If you get it right the first time, that's the easiest way to save costs, to reduce your cost of goods sold or reduce the cost of production, right? And then, we always, last 20 years at least, the Indians, all of us know that we have shops selling export rejects. I mean, and we go and buy that. So something which is rejected also is good for us. That's something we really have to get rid of. Whatever we produce, irrespective of the fact that it is going to be exported or sold domestically or sold to my neighbor or sold to my wife, all that has to be equally good, irrespective of the fact that who the customer is. Once we achieve that kind of a level of thinking, critical thinking, level of higher order thinking, and give that benefit to consumers, I'm sure we are on a right path towards a Viksit Bharat. So we will get to hear a lot of this, what Z is all about. And having said that, one important thing I would like to bring to notice is, I don't know whether how many of you have listened to our Prime Minister speak on Independence Day, and he chose to speak about Z from the Red Fort, which is very surprising to me. That means obviously it's being taken at a higher level, right? To ensure that Z is taken up by all the MSMEs. We have close to 6 crore MSMEs. So all of them adopt these practices. I'm sure we'll be on the right path. Coming to the second program of the day, which Mr. Weinberger will be covering, that is on kosher certification. Kosher certification becomes extremely important, not just to export. People say that kosher is required if you have to export. Yeah, definitely. People who are buying your product, whether it is an animal meat product or is the vegetable product, they look for kosher certification and they give a value to it, right? But even in domestic markets now, the people, good buyers, I'm talking about retail giants like Reliance and others, are also looking for such certifications. They give you additional points if you have kosher certification. So it is not something that, in our heads we think kosher is generally if you want to export to Israel and some other countries. It's not that. It is for us. So it is, once it is certified, we know the product that comes out of the package is definitely of good quality. So let's, no more discussion on this. Let's get right to brass tacks. Let's listen to Mrs. Kanti deliver on Z, followed by Mr. Weinberger. And welcome again to both of you. Thank you. You do an introduction? Read out it.
It is customary to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Kanti Kosuri. He is a Managing Director of BAMI Business Solutions Private Limited. He is a certified consultant from QCI for Ministry of MSME and Z and Lean schemes. He has over 15 years of experience in manufacturing, quality and training. He is proficient in 4 languages, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi and English. And welcome you, madam. Please take the session.
But you want to sit there? You're more comfortable, right?
Very happy morning. Very happy morning to one and all presented in this occasion. And I have to, first of all, I want to thank FTCCI to give this opportunity to help MSME manufacturing units to develop and to encourage them how to develop in their organization internally and externally. And respected President Sir, Suresh Kumar Garu and Sir Srinivas Garu and Mr. Rabi Joel Sir, and dignitaries who are of the participations and of the dais also. And today I want to explain about JET certification, that is zero defect and zero effect. I was a bit nervous. Sorry, I'll get back to it. Okay. The main objective of this JET certification is zero defect and zero effect. And the objective of this certification is about how to develop MSMEs globally. You have to stood up in the global market, like you have seen the example of China, how the GDP value is increasing, and you have seen Sri Lanka, how the GDP value was decreased because of export and import. So why our government is insisting MSMEs to develop, to take this JET certification, to develop their company in the global way, to stood up in the company, to stood up in global way, because to encourage the export. So many countries are there, they are importing. So many companies are there, they are importing. But for MSMEs, in India, encouraging all MSMEs to stood up as a competitor, global competitor in export oriented. And next, zero defect means zero defect and zero effect. Zero defect means no defects. No defects. Means this JET certification makes you no defects and no effect according to the environment. Because no defects means the company is in a monitoring level properly. The company is monitoring their company internal and external works as a monitoring very well. Okay, and this vision of this JET certification is objectives and vision. I will go for PPT. What is the PPT is there? I will explain you today. The eligibility for JET certification is Udyam registration. Udyam registration is main eligibility because for MSMEs, Udyam registration is important. Below 250 crores, which company is there, that companies are completely eligible for JET certification. Not more than 250 crores of turnover. And JET certification was right now two sectors are open, manufacturing and service sector. Right now, manufacturing sector only implemented. After 3 years, it was implemented for service sector also. Phase 1 and phase 2. So these are the parameters for JET certification. You have to complete these 20 parameters. What is the documentations is required, systems is required, and all these parameters should be completed in every company. If the JET certification having 3 levels. One is bronze certification, silver, and gold. In bronze certification, 7 parameters are there, and in silver, 8 to 14 parameters, and in gold, 15 to 20 parameters. So all these parameters, if you go for direct gold certification, all these parameters is needed for any MSMEs to satisfy what is the documentation is needed. So how to prepare the documentation, how to develop their system and everything, I will explain. I will take the sessions in their companies and give awareness for their companies, workers and supervisors and all production persons. And next, I will explain about these levels of parameters right now. And in JET certification, the one thing is local language I have to use. That is a mandate, because to understand for everyone, I should use the local language, that is in Telugu right now. Anybody is comfortable in Telugu or Hindi, that is okay to me. I will explain in both languages. So shall I go in Telugu? Hindi and English.
Anybody will understand English.
Yeah. So Telugu or Hindi or Telugu, English, anything is okay. So in these 20 parameters, first is leadership. Leadership qualities means, in this leadership qualities means, in every company, we should know about what is the roles and responsibilities. What is the roles and responsibilities in our company? How many employees are there? What is the roles? What is the responsibilities is there? So everything we have to understand about the leadership qualities. So what is meant by leadership qualities? The person who is lead to take the in charge for whole the employees in the unit. Not like that. So the person who is capable to manage all the peoples, all the employees in the unit, these peoples are leaders they are. So in this leadership quality, if any company, if we enter, Some supervisors are there in production way. Supervisors will be there. Workers will be there. Some workers is there. They will use CNC machine, how to use and everything. So these people, this CNC machine operator, if mission has got for breakdown, so who will be the responsibility? Means who will take care of that breakdown issues? The supervisor will take, right? Supervisor will take the responsibility. But at that point, supervisor doesn't know how to repair the machine. But the operator or some worker has know about how to repair that equipment. So here, who is the leader? The operator, the worker is the leader. So like that, in every segment, in every sector, every person should be very proactive to solve the problem. So that is the leadership. In some other one company I have gone there, some unknown person was entering into the company. At that time, the security was objected to not to enter into the company. At that time, who is the leader? The security man is the leader. So like that, the leadership quality should be developed in the unit, in the organization, to safeguard us and to develop ourselves, how to maintain all these regulations and everything. And next, Swachh Workplace. You know, everybody know about Swachh Workplace. So Swachh Workplace is cleanliness. Cleanliness should be maintained in the unit, in workshop area, in washroom, everything. See, JET is kind of certification which is take part in each level, each corner of your unit. In each corner, what is the mistake is there? What is the corrections is needed? What is the development should be done? In every part, JET will be taken. Actually, you know about JET security. What is meant by JET security? 360. It is very high security. It was given for celebrities. So like that, JET certification is the JET security to your company in all angles, in 360 degrees. Like a Wi-Fi, it will be protect your company from losses, financial status, and material and everything. So I will come in one part and everything I will explain you in detail. So in Swachh Workplace, we have to take part cleanliness only in washrooms and work area. That is enough. In which equipment should be and machines, everything should be cleared, right? And after that, even Swachh Workplace is between the employees also. Between the employees also, Swachh Workplace is needed. Because in some units, I have visited more than 180 companies I have done for certification. More than 180 companies. Above 100 companies was bronze I have done. And for 30 companies, gold. And 35 companies, silver, I have done. For that unit, the problem is, I have visited so many companies, I am asking some information about that company, how to develop, what is the mistake is there, what is the process, what is your flow chart, what is your progress, what is your turnover. So why from last 5 years and now this year, it was increased or decreased? What is the reason? Each and every part I will take important. So at that point, I have seen if one employee will give the information means, so next further information he will not give that information. So I should ask each and every person in the unit, what is this information? You know about this? No, madam, I am not able to give that information. Some other person. No, madam, I am not able to give some other person. Management is very eager to understand what is the actual problem, what is the actual increment should be there in the unit. But the employees are not serious about that. They are taking very light and they are very irresponsibility to give the information also to me. So the reason is Swachh Workplace is not there between the employees also. So their minds are in, this is my work, I done this, that's it, completed. I don't want to take extra charges or I don't want to take extra responsibilities to complete this particular certifications like that. So for that purpose, I have given sessions to workers, to supervisors, supervisors to managers, managers to directors, even owners also. So this is main important for Swachh Workplace. Disciplinary actions are also so needed. So workplace safety. Workplace safety means occupational safety. Occupational safety is if you are in unit, what is the safety you are taking? What is the safety you are giving to your employees? Like any fire accident, you are giving your fire extinguishers will be important. Fire extinguishers is important, and emergency exits is important, and mock drills is important. Mock drills for what? How to? Yeah, fire safety. Mock drills is important, and for this mock drills, what we have to do? Trainings, safety trainings we have to give. Safety trainings and mock drills. And all these things make that company in a safeguard. If any increment, any development is there, for this as a organization development, we will see that in organization it will take this percentage. Madam, our organization has increased from last year to this year, 90% or 95%, yeah, 98%. But in safety purpose, 100% assurance should be given by the management to the workers. Why? Even single human is important to us. So for that, we have to take occupational safety, we have to give trainings, we have to give mock drills, and emergency exit should be maintained, and fire extinguishers for every 100 meters of the unit, complete a whole unit should be maintained. All this should be taken for the occupational safety. Next, measurement of timely delivery. What is measurement of timely delivery? Everybody know, you're entrepreneurs, you know about the measurement of timely delivery. On time, yeah, on time in full. On time in full means on time delivery should be there in full. So I will ask one question. On time in full means today 100 units, 100 units I have to dispatch to some other customer. I have dispatched 100 units. After reaching there, they find out that 2 defects are there. Is that on time in full? No, because two defects are there. Okay, we have seen here right now dispatching. Another point is we have to dispatch today 100 units for customer, but we have identified at the dispatch time we have identified 2 defectives is there. We have sent 98 units. Then it is on time in full. Okay, next. Another point is, today 100 units I have to send. I have sent 100 units. No defects is there. Everything is perfect. Tomorrow morning, I have to send that 100 units. But today I was very much pretty perfect. So today only I have dispatched it to that company. So is it on time in full, sir? Before time. It is on time in full. Is it good? Yes, because the reason is so many companies are place constraint is there. So many companies having place constraint. Very less place is there.
They want just in time.
They want just in time. On time in full is very important, but just in time is also important. We have to make sure about that person. He having the place constraint is there or not. So that is measurement of timely delivery is completely about on time in full, just in time. Next. So I'm explaining all these parameters just only the upper layer only. In depth, it will take for jet certification for 20 parameters in depth explanation. It will take nearly 1 day completely. But it is I'm giving major line layers to you. Okay, quality management. About quality management. Quality. Sir, what is meant by quality, sir? Yes. Another? Sir, come again. Yeah, I'm asking about quality, not quality systems. Yes, it's a customer delight. Ultimate customer satisfaction. Quality.
Standard.
Yeah.
There are a set of standards at the industry level, benchmarks are there.
Yes, sir.
Product line. Not anything, not stop.
Yeah. So customer satisfaction is very crucial in the market. How it will take? So 2 types of customer satisfactions will be there. So one pen, I have 2 rupees of pen, and I am having 100 rupees of pen. One pen is there. So this pen is 2 rupees. Everybody will see about the pen. What is the quality of pen? What is the parameters of this pen? Writing should be very dark. It should be free flow to write. It is very comfortable to hold the pen. That is a requirement for every pen. Okay, but 2 rupees pen, 100 rupees pen, what is the difference is customer quality, customer satisfaction. In customer requirement, that is not customer satisfaction. In that, I can spend only 2 rupees only. But for me, this 2 rupees pen is very satisfied because it was writing the flow of writing is very good. So that is enough to me. But whereas 100 rupees, the person is thinking about 100 rupees, attraction should be there. It should be good looking. It should be it should be right, very free flow. It should be very convenient to hold. All these things. Some person, his customer satisfaction, his customer requirement is 100 rupees. So like that, in market, while we are introducing our product, it was very crucial to understand market first. So for that, quality management. In quality management, quality standards, quality requirements, quality assurance, quality control, how we are monitoring in our unit. In our unit, what is the important points, critical points to take care of our company in sustaining in the market. I will say one example about Horlicks. Horlicks, I think it was started 50 years back. Right now, the Horlicks is sustaining. Parley is there. Britannia is there. I have done JET certification for Parley also. Parley JobWorks units also. Parley, Britannia, Horlicks. These all JobWorks units also. I have done JET certification, gold. I have asked only one question. Sir, in these days, in these years, so it's not about 1 or 2 years or 10 years or 20, 30 years. About 50 years, how can you are sustaining in the market? So I have so much of doubt in that also, how these people are sustaining in the market. So they said, Madam, we never compromise in taste. We never compromise in cost. We never increase cost packet. We will decrease the packet size. We will decrease the packet size, but we will not increase the rate. So what is that? They are doing how nicely, because everybody, human psychology is, if we rate increase means we are not able to accept that increment while we are giving the money to the market. So at that point, the Parley having a very nice sustainability point is they have reduced the packet and increased the taste. And in whereas Horlicks also, so many, according to the market pulse, they have introduced so many varieties of Horlicks varieties. Marketing, yeah, I will come in.
You are reducing the size of Horlicks, not reducing not increasing the rate. So you are not cheating the.
Not like that, sir. See, they want the taste of that biscuit. They want to taste the biscuit. They want the quantity. Even quantity also, 4 biscuits, 5 rupees packet. 4 biscuits is there. That is 5 rupees cost. Okay. So in that, the size of biscuit was decreased. So they have told with evidences, everything from last 10 years back, 20 years back, what their strategy is following. So in that, so many flowers was added. So many flowers are added. In a Horlicks also, you can see so many flowers was added. Why, sir? Why to introduce all these flowers, all these varieties to market? The reason is,
in other words, though they have reduced the quantity, they have enhanced the quality.
yes,
Giving an effect.
yes,
Additional effect.
additional effect. So that's the thing. Even Horlicks also, you can see So many varieties of Horlicks packets was introduced in the market since 20, 30 years back. So even Horlicks is introduced 50 years back. Even I am not born also. At that time, it was introduced. So many at my childhood, it was only one type of Horlicks. Now chocolate Horlicks, vanilla Horlicks, so many Horlicks, mother Horlicks, so many Horlicks was there. So why it was introduced? Because the thing is, innovation is going on in every company, in every, sir.
Basically, I think affordability and increase the market. The population is growing.
Yes,
Try to take the care of maximum people. Somebody wants different flavors, you want the smaller pack.
so that's the market grabbing, sir.
The basic quality of the product.
Yeah, that's the thing, market grabbing. So how can you grab the market, sir, without knowing the market pulse?
Then the segmentation of the market.
Yes.
Customer segmentation.
Yes, for that, the innovation team should be, R&D should be there in every unit. Because of innovation only, large-scale industries are sustaining in the market. So why we cannot start, we MSMEs cannot start that innovation product, R&D, and global market means how to sustain in the global market. So I will explain all the doubts at the end of the session because so many parameters I have to cover that. Okay. And next, this is about quality management. And next, energy management. Energy management means about power consumption, about manpower consumption. Even manpower is also power. We should not neglect manpower. Manpower is energy also. Energy means power consumption, manpower consumption, and so many money consumption. So many consumptions are there. In energy management, we have to know what is renewable and non-renewable. Renewable means which is like water, sunlight, everything is renewable, and non-renewable means coal, all these natural resources, because it will take some, why this in energy management, the government is so insisting to MSMEs to move on to solar panel installation. So because of solar panels installation, so much of electricity is coming down. Even recently, I have gone for Sumo Biscuit. It was about 250 crores turnover, that company. In that company also, they have introduced solar panels. Earlier, they have getting 60 lakhs per month current electricity. After introducing solar panels installation, they have reduced up to 14 lakhs. So it's a great because of cost cutting, because of in power consumption cutting, power factors. If we take care in power factors, we can reduce our product cost also. Because of product cost reduction, we will give the customers in a comfortable price. Sir, it will take installation, it will more than 1.6 crores. But it will come back within 1 or 2 years only. You will get the money back within 1.5 to 2 years. So it's a very useful for solar panels installation to every unit because it is the renewable sources we can use every day. Every day we can use that and electricity will be come down. And about measurement and analysis. What is meant by measurement and analysis? Anybody? Measurement and analysis. Yes. Yes, standards or not, monitoring.
Whatever the
Yes. So
when we are not able to measure, something like dropping the dog.
yeah.
So we should know what.
So how we can measure? How we can measure in the unit? By monitoring, by giving checklist, by auditing. All these things we can measure. We can measure all this company, what is our development, what is the last year development, this year development, what we have to do, how to increase, how to make corrections in our unit, how to develop. So all this measurement and analysis, how to analysis. In which part we have to make analysis? 360 degrees, product, process, progress, finance, raw materials, supply chain management, all these things. Even supply chain management is also so important. So next, human resources management. everybody know about HR, HR management, admin trainings, induction trainings, how we have to give. If some new person has came here, we have to give the induction training. What is the trainings is required? Skill trainings. How many trainings are there in human resources? Soft trainings are there. Skill trainings are there. What is meant by soft training? About skills and everything. Skills means normal trainings is there. So many trainings. Energy training is there, and safety training is there, and environmental training is there. These trainings are awareness to everybody, not for entrepreneurs. Even common people should know about what is the awareness of energy savings, environmental issues, wastages, disposable, and safety, how to be safety and everything. But skill, according to your unit, what is the skill development, skill trainings is required. So everything, HR person should take care of all these trainings to develop, to give awareness about the particular subject. So the trainings are, make sure every unit should give proper training to the employees. So many companies, I have visited so many companies, nobody was giving any training, no training, just only they are giving only safety training, because that is mandatory nowadays, it was kept. So not skill trainings are not at all giving, because of not able to give the facility for training about skill. The unit employees are wasting their energy and intelligence to sustain in the company. Some person I have visited, SG Weltec, one company is there. Their CNC machine operator is there. He knows how to operate only. That's it. He was just 10th completed person. He doesn't give any training, just standing for 1 month. Some operator was doing that work, and he is observing that, and after that he started to continue. Because of that, he used to waste the material, raw material, because he doesn't have proper training. Because of that, he was wasting the material. So I said, why you are not giving training? Yeah, madam, I have given already 1 month's training. How? By visually he has seen. By visually he was observing the work and everything. Then only he was able to, he done work. He started work, that's it. But proper training, what is the logic is there? What is the mechanism is there in that? Is there any mistake? Means any mistake is came, means how we have to attach that, how we have to rectify that, how we have to develop that. They don't have any idea. So proper trainings is so important, awareness about the subject, which they are working on that particular mission or equipment. That is, training is so important. So in that HR or yes, sir. Not like that in work area. Even in HR line also so many trainings is needed. And finance also, they should know about what is the cost cutting, how we have to develop, how we have to reduce the wastage of money or the product and everything. So procurement should be, they should know how to deal with the export oriented people, how to develop their company in export way, what is the raw material we have to import from the other countries, what we have to do, what is the criteria to have to maintain that. So in every department, training is important.
Training is soft skill area and also functional skill area.
Yes, sir.
So broad division. Soft skill for everyone.
Yes, sir.
Functional skill based on the function is right.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. So daily works management. What is meant by daily works management? Daily works management. Routine management. Daily targets. What is your daily target? You have got 1,000 units order. Within 1 week, you have to deliver. So what is your daily target? How many manpower are there? What is the target? What you have to do? So what is the goal at the end of the day, and which day the package should be ready? So all these targets, all this performance, who will take care? Production head will take care about daily targets. So how to measure this daily targets? KPIs, monitoring in every process, At the end of the day, what is the target you have achieved?
Early planning.
Very important. Per hour, what is the schedule is there? In according to the schedule, what are your targets you have fulfilled? So every target should be maintained in every department. Per day target should be display as a digital display should be maintained in every company. That is more better, because every day you cannot change or you cannot write on the board. But if you keep a digital means, that is a very good thing. You can edit here itself and you can display in the work area, so that everybody can avail about that. What is the target is important. At the same time, what is the wastage is also important in your unit. The target you are keeping in the work area, you are displaying in the work area. What is about your target, today's target, tomorrow's target? After 1 week, what is the production is dispatching and everything. At the same time, you have to keep about daily wastage also. So many companies are there. Wastage is very heavy. Zero defect is okay. Defect, that is okay. But wastage is, it's a criminal waste. We cannot accept that, right? So can you say anybody what is defect and defect two? Defect and defect two. What is defect and defect two?
Defect two or two?
What is defect and defect two? Defective. Defective. Yes.
In fact, there is a defect in the product. So the product itself is a defective. This is an adjective, defect is a noun.
Yeah. So simple. Defect is rework. We can do rework and the defective can be corrected. But defective is not corrected. It is a rejected part. That is scrap. Right? So we have to make sure in daily works management, what is the target, at the same time, what is the defect, what is the wastage. Wastage is nothing but defective. Defective, rejected parts.
Please take up tolerance limit.
Yes.
If defective pieces come under tolerance, tolerance limit should not exist in the standard company, not more than 1% or 5%.
In some companies, sir, in some companies, components are making in some companies. So that is if the defect, there is no defect, directly defective only, rejected part. If that the component is not in the concerned parameters which is given by PSUs, like BEL or BAL or HAL, like that. So they will not accept any rejections, even 1 point or so. It will go for a scrap only. So for that point, we have to make sure what is defect, what is the target, what is the defective items, and what is the defect you have made today daily works, what is your target you have done. So that readings and everything, next day you have to display in the work area. Yesterday, the wastage is this much. Today, you have to make sure that this wastage should not come again, repeat again. So planned maintenance and calibrations. So this is very easy to understand. So planned maintenance. In every unit, maintenance should be very important for the equipment. Planned maintenance means every week, some companies weekly target will be, weekly maintenance will be there. Some companies monthly, some companies yearly, 6 months. Like that, targets will be there for preventive maintenance also, and calibration. When year calibration. Schedule will be, annual schedule plan is important in this parameter. So what I am explaining all these 20 parameters, you will have nearly 100 to 150 documentations for that. For each parameter, 5 to 6 documents is needed about roles and responsibility. In leadership means roles and responsibility, organization chart, what is organization performance. For that organization performance, what the steps we are taking, what is the monitoring we are doing, everything. In each and every parameter, 5 to 6 documents is needed. So that much work will be there in this JET certification. Next.
Periodic preventive maintenance.
G.
We practice.
Yes. That is annual planning schedule should be maintained in every year in every unit. So at what time schedule schedule is for this equipment. So many equipment is there. At what time this equipment is scheduled, and what is the calibrations? When your calibrations is there, what do we have to do? And process control. Process control is process control in your unit. About process control, how you are controlling your process in the unit. How you are controlling the process, sir? Yes, by maintaining SOPs, flowcharts, monitoring, checklists, audits, and senior management review meeting. Last month review meeting में what we have done. This, yeah, monthly review meeting is important. So in that monthly review meeting, what points we are discussing about? What is the delivery dispatch levels, financial status, raw materials, procurement, marketing. So all this in supply chain. Next, product quality and safety, testing certifications. Testing certifications means your product testing certifications. You're going for testing certifications, sir, right? From NABL, in which specifications? Yes, required checklist is there. So with that, it was satisfying or not according to the quality, according to the safety purpose. The product, while we are releasing into the market, the product, we have to ensure that our product is 100% safety and quality wise perfect. So for that, we have to go for testing reports. For the testing certifications, we can identify how standard, in which step we are standing in quality wise and safety wise. Next, material management. Material management is procurement, raw material, where we have to get raw materials, procurement, where we have to do import, exports, and inventory management. What is the inventory management? Surplus of your raw material, right? How much surplus you are maintaining. In some companies will take 1 month, means 30 days surplus will be maintained. They will maintain inventory level. They will maintain for 1 month. Some companies for 6 months, for 1 year also. Iron type of ore, such type of raw materials means it will take for 1 year also. They will maintain this inventory levels. So because of based on inventory levels. So what is after inventory level means at a particular level, if we complete that means, if we complete the raw material means, what is the procurement person has to take part? What is the importance of procurement person, marketing person to maintain, to close that difference gap, to close that gap. So that is about material management. And next,
economy order
quantity.
based on the holding cost of the material. If you agree for a long period you hold it.
It was in SAP. SAP also it was situated. Material management is there. Yeah. And next, supply chain management. Supply chain management means vendor, logistics, vendor to customer. The work we have to take care and we have to give importance to supply chain management. So what is the development of our company? What are the annual performance about our company? Also should be involved in this supply chain management, vendor evaluation, vendor selection. How you will select the vendor evaluation? About vendor selection and everything. So everything it comes under supply chain management. Audit. Yes, evaluation. Yeah, vendor. Yes. Next, risk management. What you are taking risk management about your company? What are the steps? What are the assessments you are taking about risk management in your unit? Enterprise? Yes. So financially, if you take, sir, that is enough. Risk. Risk not in the finance, right? In the product also, in the quality also. In every part, we have to take risk assessment. How we will take risk assessment? You got recently for COVID, so many companies was closed. So many companies had not having any work. So at that time, what is the risk assessment they have taken in their unit? At that time also, Parle turnover is more than 3 lakh crore. How it was sustained? How we are not able to sustain? What is the difference? Because you can say that it is a large scale industry, that's why they are sustained. Not like that. Even their turnover was increased at that time. 2000 to 2024, the Parle-G turnover was increased a double. I have seen the records there. I was also surprised to see that. Yeah, they have done a simple logic, sir. At that time, they have promoted their biscuit. They have given in CSR fund more than, everybody know about large scale industries having CSR fund, social corporate responsibility is there. In CSR fund, in large scale industry, 2% should be dedicated to poor people. Means NGO, like we have to dedicate 2%. With that, they have done a massive thinking, innovative thinking, like they have distributed all biscuits to all poor people, needy people in India. So they have distributed on the name of CSR fund, they have distributed really to all NGOs. But indirectly, they are marketed their company. And because of that Parle-G, the taste about that, the reason is the taste is not come down. Taste is good, quality is good. Because of that, they were sustained. They were sustained in COVID time also. So what is the risk assessment? For every unit, some risk assessments we have to take care.
These 20 points, one vital element of that vigilance.
Vigilance.
Vigilance we can add with the risk.
Yes, sir.
So more vigilance, less the risk.
Yes.
But I don't know whether it is prepared in the or not. It is important which week we observe.
That I will come back, sir. I will get that point also. At the end of the session, I will explain that also.
Geographically, there are so many outdoor units.
Yes, sir.
You find across the country, I don't know, pick up the Parle-G, but it is currently not manufactured.
Yeah.
You don't find any object for the Parle-G.
No, sir. No, sir.
Other things also, they mentioned that is the presence of the biscuit.
Yes, sir.
There are shelf life. They don't say 5 6 months. After 1 week, this becomes stale.
Yes, sir. I want to say in this point, in Parle having only one outlet, sir. Do you know? Do you trust that? Only original Parle is having only one unit. Everything is job works only they have given. Globally they have given. Globally they have given job works only. Even job works only. The taste will not change. The quality will not change. The packaging levels and the yes, because they have having standard SOPs. Standard SOPs is there.
They are not bothered about the imitation.
Imitate. Yes.
They have never complained about the copy.
Yes.
That's the most successful brand and people are copying of that.
Right.
That's bother.
So next, waste management. Muri. Waste management. This is from this point, it is comes under lean scheme. Lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing means becoming slim. You became very lean, yeah. You become very slim. Means in this waste management, lean scheme means lean explains about reducing the wastage. How to reduce the wastage? How to reduce the wastage in your unit? That is Japanese word, sir. Japanese word, which is represent the waste management. Yeah, sir. But that is the word we have to use it. Muda is overproduction and Muda is unevenness and Muri is wastage. Yes. Fires is the basic level and Muri is the advanced level. Fires is sort, set in order, shine, sustain, all these things, fire essence. This is about the wastage. Only it will concentrate on wastage. That is concentrate on your sorting levels. What is your company is maintaining? It is fine, it is good or not, it is maintaining cleanness or not, cleanliness or not. Like that, it will maintain fires. That is the basic level. If anybody, if I am as a inspecting the company, if I enter into the company, first I will see what is the cleanliness is maintained in the unit. Everything is tools and everything is sorted or not. It was clean or not. Everything I use it to see. The first impression is the best impression. First impression I will see whether it is clean or not. At the end of the point, what is the wastage is there. So many companies are there, they are maintaining very neat, but the wastage is percentage is very high. In a KMP company I have visited there, candies is manufacturing. Candies are manufacturing in that company. In that company, the wastage is 6%. 6% wastage is there. Not defect, it is wastage. I use it to separate 6% of wastage is cost of 4 lakhs per day. Per day, 4 lakhs wastage of money. So I use it to observe for 3-4 days. I used to go there for the workshop and I used it to sit there. Why? What is the reason is there means? The simple reason is that nothing is there in that. The work is good, the process is good, SOP is also maintaining, everyone is very concentrated, what is the work is going on, in any mistakes of that, they are identifying very good, but they are not able to make sure the equipment is cleaned or not. Because of not regular cleaning, the resin of the candies are going stuck into the machine, and that candy which was coming newly enter into the machine, it was spilling out. Because of that, 6% wastage is going on.
What was the turnover there?
It's more than 300 crores, 250 crores, because export is not it is not considered for MSMEs. Yeah, it is 250 crores.
There will be 12 crores.
Yes, sir. More than 12 crores. I have seen the records from last 2-3 years. So in that, I said first for every 1 hour, please clean the equipment. Then you can reduce the wastage of percentage. Wastage percentage can be reduced. And I said, first day I said, all these instructions I have given, I have gone there. Again, I have seen some other department of the company. The person was not interested in that because he is not taking the data, monitoring. He is not monitoring. He is not cleaning. I said, in geotag, you just keep a photo to me, to my WhatsApp. I want to see for every hour you are cleaning that equipment or not. So he has done for 1 day completely. Next day, surprisingly, the wastage was reduced to 2%. Means nearly 4% was reduced, 2% the wastage is gone. So 2% is acceptable in any industries, because starting, while we start the mission, it will take to adjust the machinery and the dough, what is preparing there. So that's why it is okay, 2%. Not 6% is not acceptable in any industry. So I have make sure to them to clean the equipment. For that purpose, only 4% reduction came down. So next, wastage technology selection and upgradation. Technology upgradation and selection. This everybody knows about. Technology upgradation means, what is the technology upgradation selections? While automatic mission is there, man-made mission means manual mission is there. It is to automation is semi-automation is it's a upgradation. From semi-automation, fully automation mission is a upgradation. Right? Electricity is there. In electricity, you are going for solar panels installation. It is a selection upgradation, technology upgradation only. And we are using Tally for accounts and everything. If you go for SAP, it's a technology upgradation. So all these things comes under technology selection and upgradation. Why in JED certification they are asking about technology upgradation? What is the link for that? Cost effectiveness, production efficiency, market complaints. So for that, technology selection and upgradation is so important for JET. And next, natural resources conservation. Natural resources conservation means everybody know about natural resources. We have to use wisely regarding natural resources. Water, air, sunlight also. Sunlight also we are wasting. For that purpose only government was insisting us to go for solar panels installation. Even at the end of the session, I will say about what is the concession government is giving for solar panel installation for each unit also. Rainwater harvesting, soak waste, and plantation. Plantation is so important. Waste is disposable. Okay, next.
Even time also.
Sir?
Even time also.
Time also.
Yes, lots of time. It's home, in the office, in the factory, everywhere.
That is not in our hands, sir. Yeah. So next, CSR response, CSR funding. Sir, I used to ask in large scale industry, 2% of CSR money should be donated to NGOs. In small scale industry for MSMEs, there is no rule for CSR fund should be donated. But why in JET certification, CSR fund is also a important parameter to know about, to know MSMEs. What is the reason? MSMEs?
They want to grow.
Yeah, sir, that's okay. They have to, everybody should adopt this funding and everything. Why JET certification insisting MSMEs to follow CSR?
MSME should be aware of the social responsibility. In whatever form it can discharge, it needs to discharge.
Yes. So in CSR funding in large scale industries, there is a rule. If you fund this much of money, means you will having NGOs. You will give. You will donate to NGOs or poor peoples or schools like that. You will help them. But in CSR funding, in MSMEs, no need to fund out of the company. In companies, so many needy peoples are there. So many poor peoples are there. They are not affordable to go for corporate studies or not corporate study, even normal studies also, workers level and even. For those, you can help as a owner of the company. So if you follow CSR means, you can help those people who are working in your company so that the bonding between worker and the company will be grow. Nobody will not live. So many companies I have visited, sir. Since 30 years, 35 years services, they are working in the same unit. I ask, what is the effectiveness? What is the importance? What is the attractiveness? You are working still in this company without any growth. Also, you are being in this company. What is the reason? I will ask me. They used to say that, madam, they have helped me in so many ways. Yeah.
Somebody is a security guy. There for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, sir. Even giving insurance to all employees in the unit.
Or there are, trading of employees. So, their employees take out some contribution. People know what is the background.
Yes.
They are bringing more loyalty.
Yeah, sir.
And they will be more productive.
Yes, exactly what you are saying. So that is main important for CSR response, for CSR funding. So for that, MSME in JET certification, MSMEs are insisted to go for CSR funding to help others. That is the reason. These are the 20 parameters, sir, in JET certification. This having lots of documentation and lots of inspection, lots of sessions is there. Right now, I have explained very minor layer about regarding JET certification, but coming to the subject of deep JET certification, if you take silver certification or gold, if you go for silver or gold, I will explain you in detail, in depth about each parameter to your supervisors, to your workers, and taken how to prepare the documentation also. That is my duty to take care that part. Coming to this, I will go for what is the benefits are given by JET certification. So this is the important point. In JET certification, right now I have explained what is the parameters are there, what is the advantages. But real advantages for MSMEs to develop financially means, so I will say you can note it down. So many benefits are there.
The one point I have to say is there is a space for knowledge management.
Yes, that's the thing. HR management, HR human resources management में उसमें वो आएगा सर. So for bronze certification, no cost, free of cost it was. It was free of cost. Within 24 hours, you will get the certification in bronze certification. So after bronze certification, if the unit having testing reports from NABL, you can note it down. Testing reports from NABL. Testing reports from NABL. Quality certification from NABCB. Or system certification from NABCB. And product certificate from BIS. If any unit having these three certifications means, after bronze certification, it's a free of cost. You will get immediately 50,000 reimbursement for that certification. Any of these three certifications is okay. If you are having BIS certificate for 20,000 or testing certificate for 20,000 means, mixed of 75,000, you will get 50,000, means 75% reimbursement will be given by QCI immediately within 15 days on your account. For bronze certifications. Immediately bronze certification, you will get 50,000 for these three certifications. So these ISO certifications are exempted. Occupational safety ISO 45001, ISO 9001, Advanced Lean C, ISO 50001, 14001, and Advanced Lean C. These certifications are exempted. Because for JET certification, no need any certifications. JET is itself more than these certifications. Benefits. For certification, bronze certification is 8,000, silver is 32,000, and gold is 72,000. For bronze, it is free of cost. For silver, 32,000 rupees. For that, accordingly, micro, small, medium, women entrepreneur. If women entrepreneurs is there, means 100% is free certification. The certification is free, but hand-holding support is not free. Okay, that is 50,000 rupees for 75% will be total cost of certifications will be reimbursed for you after bronze. And again, if you take silver, after bronze, you have to go for silver or gold. You can directly move for gold or silver. For that, 75, for that also, again, financial assistance, 50,000 rupees will be added for you. And for hand-holding support, 2 lakhs, but your entrepreneurs are not paying for 2 lakhs. That is directly QCI is giving rebate for you. And next, for technology upgradation, 3 lakhs. That is technology upgradation. I have spoken with you that regarding solar panels installation and semi-automation to fully automation machinery. For that, the government is giving 3 lakhs subsidy, reimbursement to you. Okay, till now you will get for bronze 50,000, silver or gold 50,000, 1 lakh there, and 2 lakhs here hand-holding support, and 3 lakhs for technology upgradation is 6 lakhs for that. And you will get lifetime international exhibition, you will get 6.25 for gold and 6.9 lakh for silver. That is also you can have. That is lifetime. These subsidies are only one-time reimbursement. If your reimbursement one time means it will not repeat that. But what I am saying from this point, it is lifetime repeatable, lifetime benefit for all MSMEs. One is export, international exhibition, 7.25 lakh you will get, and national exhibition 1.25 lakh. So totally there you will get nearly 8.5 lakh. Apart from this, and after that, main beauty of this JET certification is 1% of rate of interest will be come down while you are taking for expansion of your company loan, and 50% of rate of interest will concession processing charges will be come down. And another one, your company having freight charges, railway you are using railway transport means freight charges will be 45% will be less for every invoice. For every invoice, lifetime. These are all lifetimes. And this certification is valid only for 3 years. And after 3 years, again you have to renewal that, and it will continue for lifetime. So, yes, sir, after 1.5 years. That is online audit. After 1.5 years, it is online audit. But now, if I am doing for you are going for certification, that is 1.5 months to 2 months it will do for each certification. Yes, sir. Why not? NC will be raised according to your performance, according to your document performance and everything. NC will be raised. That is mandatory. So without NC, how we have to sustain? For that also, I will give you a session after that. Yeah, sir. Online audit will be there after completion of this certification. When you got that certification, for 1.5 year, one online surveil will be there. And after 3 years, again, I will come and inspect your company, whether in 3 years you are maintaining properly or not. So these are more than per year, more than you will get 13 to 14 lakhs benefit every year you will get benefit. Apart from this, 50,000 means this 6 lakhs. Even so many using railway transport, for that 45% is coming down, waived off in every invoice, sir. So that is a system correction, sir. That is a system correction I am doing in your company, cost effectiveness, and how to correct your company. What is the problems is there? Yeah, sir. Financial benefits is there. System correction is there, and your manpower and everything, awareness, trainings, everything, all in one package. Yes. Is there, sir? Actually, you can in Google, everybody can open JET certification. JET. Everything is there. Everything. How much 45% for freight charges in railway, and you are getting export oriented for 7.25, international exhibition for 1.25, and all these benefits is everything clearly mentioned, sir. You can see all the benefits whatever they have given, railways and banks, 1% of rate of interest is very great, sir, to every, that is the beauty of this JET certification actually. So many MSMEs are there, they don't have any funding. Because of funding, they are going for financial institutions. But those people are giving some little bit complicated to give the loans and everything. If you have JET certification, you can directly approach bankers and you can ask that JET certifications, we want 1%. Even right now, so many Axis Bank and Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, Union Bank, all are giving this facilities. Even 4-5 companies I have made them to give from Bank of Baroda that facility also 1% of rate of interest and 50% of concession processing. Sir? Next level it will increase, sir. Right now, this is all about JET certification. Yeah, freight travels also, sir. Right now, we international exhibition is there. In that, freight charges, flight charges, stall charges, they are included. Per year, two exhibitions, sir. One is national and one is international. Every year you will get the benefit. So these are all benefits and about JET. Very, very simply. Actually, if I want to explain about JET means it will take more than 1 year, 1 day. But time constraint is there. That's why I'm ending my session. Any doubts is there, just ask me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now the hall is open for Q&A. Anyone have questions, please raise your hand.
If you have any queries, you please mail it to FTCCI, we will ensure it's answered. Yeah. Sure, sir.
By email you can send it and we will follow.
Thank you very much, madam. It's a great presentation. We have 15 minutes tea break. Please come by 12. Now 11:45. Come back to 12, please. Thank you very much.
इसको मस्त वो भी लगा ईयर्स भी तो ईयर्स भी लगा राइट साइड
వీడియో ఒకటి ఆన్ చేసి కనెక్ట్ అయిందా అసలు భాయ్ అంతే అండి పదిహేను నిమిషాలు అంతే అంతా కిలో
Welcome back to the program on certification for MSME business continuity and sustainability. Our next presentation is on COSER certification. It is customary to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Joel Weinberg, to the alert audience. Bobby Joel Weinberg, who has headed StarK certification California office since 1991 and covers COSER inspections in the Philippines, Pakistan, Singapore, China, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Central America, in addition to the Western United States. He is the COSER resource person of the group. Mr. Joel, present Head of India and Southeast Asia Operations of RK Kosher Certification, with corporate office at Maryland and USA. I request Mr. Joel, please take the session. I request all the participants, please big round of applause him.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here today, and I appreciate it. I really enjoyed this amazing Zed's presentation that I was privileged to be here for, and it's a hard act to follow. I don't have all kinds of crores to offer, but I can offer you the information that I have that hopefully will help you understand what kosher is, and my goal today is to do is to help you understand what kosher is, where it comes from, and of course what benefits it brings to you as far as marketing internationally, and the quality benefits of implementing kosher. I work for Starkey Kosher, as mentioned, and we are a 50-plus-year-old company based in Maryland, near Washington, D.C. We focus, and we are a not-for-profit company, so we focus on certification for kosher worldwide. We do have partnerships with the QAI, which is a very large organic certification company. I was trained for organic also by QAI. And we also do in some markets halal certification that complements the kosher in a one-stop type of operation. I'm giving out to you today two of our brochures. One of them is our Kosher 101, which explains what kosher is, which of course we'll do an education seminar on. And just because I think that it's important that people look at how implementation actually goes down the line, also our SOP brochure, which kind of outlines how you keep a kosher program. So with no further ado, I'm going to start on the journey of explaining what kosher is to you. I think that questions are important because a lot of what goes on as far as the education about kosher, you may not see how it applies to you. So if you see something and you feel that you don't understand what it has to do with the actual food manufacturing, please do feel free to ask. So kosher 101. So we look at kosher as a tool for opening new markets and adding value to existing ones. As we were speaking together in the meeting room, opening new markets for kosher means that basically if you're not selling in markets, for example, and you'll see in the kosher 101 that there's primary markets that kosher is important in. So in here we have countries that have the largest Jewish populations, which is one of those factors for where kosher is important. But also companies that supply raw materials. India does a lot of commodities. We certify close to 450 companies here in India alone, and we publish the directory of kosher, which if you're interested in that, if you give myself or a business card and just write on it that you would like a directory, I'll be happy to get you a kosher directory for India. But if you're selling in markets where kosher already is important, in the US, in Israel, in France, in the UK, in Brazil, in Argentina, Mexico, Panama, where kosher is a very vibrant part of the sales process, then if you're not kosher certified, you may want to just ask those that you're selling to, if I had kosher, would it give me more with you? Would I get more turnover with you? Would it give us a better relationship as far as pricing because I'm bearing the cost of kosher? So that's what we're talking about as far as existing markets. And in new markets, if you're not selling in those countries and you're looking at selling in those countries, consider using kosher as a tool to help you get into that market easier, because if you tell people that I have kosher, then they are more apt to buy from you, because kosher is an important factor in those markets. And I am Joel Weinberger again. I'm regional director here for the Star K Kosher. We have maintained an office here in Cochin, India, and also in Colombo and the Philippines. We're a non-for-profit, and what that means basically is we maintain offices in multiple countries here around the region and around the world. And as a non-for-profit, our pricing, which we'll definitely get to, our pricing is based upon what is the cost for us to give you certification. We're a business, so we have overheads, we have offices here, we have offices in the US. But really, what is our cost as far as travel? Where is your plant located? Do we have other plants in that area? So, for example, here in Hyderabad, we have around a dozen factories that we certify. Or if you're in Bangalore, we certify around 50 factories, or in Ahmedabad, similar to that, and Cochin, similar to that. So it really depends on the density of companies that are kosher certified in the area that we certify, because when we send our rabbis out to do the certification, that is a cost. And if we have more companies in that area, we're able to mitigate costs. So it has to do with where the company is located that we want to certify, and also how complex is it? Are you doing, let's say you're making wheat flour. It's pretty low, it's not so complex as far as kosher, but if you're doing things that have sterates and different things like that in it, we'll probably have to visit more often. So it depends on the amount of visitation and where that visitation is going to be taking place. So we maintain offices around the world. The reason we do that, which is unlike most of our international competitors, is because we feel that being close to the market, we're able to understand the market better and service the market better. So we maintain offices in these places because there's a large amount of companies that are actually exporting products, and that those products need kosher certification in order to be acceptable in the markets. We're one of the big 5 kosher agencies in the world, and we certify a lot of products. Every day there's new companies that are looking worldwide to get kosher certification because they want to be able to be certified for export to countries or use. Even, let's say, here in India, companies that are kosher certified need kosher ingredients. They'll be looking for kosher products that are certified also. We have a pretty deep bench, if you will, as far as rabbis in the office and rabbis in the field. And being around for 50 years, we have a lot of experience in a lot of companies and the confidentiality of our clients. Here in India, we certify over 400 companies. Some of them you may recognize, some of them may be smaller, but we're very proud of our team that we have in Cochin, and that we have rabbis living here in country to be able to service clients on an ongoing basis. We just celebrated recently our 10th anniversary of our office in Cochin, which has been a boon to companies here in India to be able to get kosher certification service quickly. We're able to work on a same-day basis with cooperation between the US and the Indian offices. The symbols that we have 3 different symbols that we market. One of them is the star K, which is our primary symbol. And that symbol is our most recognized symbol. It also has the connotation, the meaning that there is no milk or meat in these products. It is considered parv, or a neutral designation. And that's what most manufacturers want to have if they're able to. We also have a very distinctly dairy certification. The dairy certification, because in kosher, as we'll see when we do some of the background work on kosher, dairy and meat don't mix. And dairy also has, there's a lot of people that are lactose intolerant, and they want to know definitively that there is no dairy in the product. And kosher is a zero tolerance type of certification in that it's either dairy or it's not dairy. If there's 2% a dairy product in there, it's considered dairy. If there's 1% or less, it's still considered dairy. So unlike government regulations, which may show that it's a non-dairy product, but still has dairy in it, kosher is not like that. And people that need that know that and rely on that. We also have a Star S certification, and that is focused primarily on the Israel markets, because in the Israel market, most people come from the Mediterranean basin, where there are slight variations from the rest of Jewish action as far as kosher. So we do a certification for that also. That has a lot to do with on Passover, which we'll get into, what spices are allowed to be used. That's where the main effect that we have here in the Indian market, having a Star S certification, because things like, for example, cumin are not used over the Passover holiday by Jews who come from a European background, but they are acceptable for people from a Mediterranean background. So we have the Star S to help our clients market those types of products. This is just some cute kind of ideas about what kosher is and what it's not. So of course, I guess the image of it is that because it's a religious certification, so therefore it must have a connotation that a rabbi or some dignitary blessed it. And that's not the case. The kosher is really very much affected, and you'll see that's how we implement it, on the basis of ingredients. What are the inputs? And is the facility itself something which is being used exclusively for kosher, or handled in a manner which kosher is what is used? So the answer to number one is no. It doesn't mean that the rabbi blessed it. Parv, as we mentioned a few minutes ago about Star D, Parv means that it's lactose-free, and lactose-free to the extent that there is no lactose in it. I'll show you examples of products which the kosher designation shows that it has dairy, versus the large verbiage on the package says that it's non-dairy. And that's because kosher has a zero tolerance. It's either it is kosher or it's not kosher, and if it says that it's not dairy, then it means that it's not dairy. These are just kind of things that we show to people to show them that the image of kosher and the actual factual background of kosher is a little bit different from each other, and I'm happy to go through some more of these at the end of the presentation. So to explain what the kosher marketplace is, kosher does not mean, as we said, that it's blessed by a rabbi. The word kosher is rooted in the Old Testament, kosher meaning that it's fit or proper. The dietary requirements in order to maintain a kosher certification is that it has to have, it's based upon the ingredients being kosher and the status of the production facility. So a facility which does kosher and non-kosher is obviously a more complicated situation. Obviously, it's more expensive because it needs to be more visitation. To do that, most facilities that we do here in India are exclusively kosher, or they do kosher runs where they do kosher and non-kosher, but they perform kosher runs for a specific client, and we monitor that by having rabbis in during the production for kosher. It appeals to different diverse ethnic groups. What that means is basically other people that are looking, if you will, they're in the marketplace and they're looking for products for their own needs. So for example, if a Hindu is traveling in the US and you're not sure about products, and you look at a kosher product, a product that has a kosher certification on it, and it doesn't say the word meat, it definitively does not have meat in it. It doesn't have beef in it. So that would be important to somebody that's, for example, traveling like in the US, and there's not a lot of green dot type of products there. So therefore, you're going to be looking, how else can you figure out what you can and can't eat? Muslims in the US don't have a lot of certified products, so they too look to kosher. Excluding the alcohol issue, they're looking to kosher to see if that it meets most of their needs as far as that. People that have intolerance to shellfish. So for example, kosher doesn't allow any shellfish. So therefore, if you have something which is kosher certified and you don't eat shellfish for whatever reasons, religious or health, you're looking to kosher because kosher is going to help you do that. And the fact is that kosher on the package itself is where it says that it's kosher. So if you look at those little candy sticks that Simi gave out, you'll see that on each one there is a kosher and a halal certification on there. That imports the fact that it is kosher, and it imports also the fact that you could have confidence in it because it's definitively on the package. It's not on some website or some document someplace. It's on the package. It says it's kosher. It is kosher. Most kosher sales are outside the Jewish market. So while in my Kosher 101 presentation, I show where those kosher markets are, where the most population of Jews there is in the world, but really most sales are outside of it. And a lot of it has to do, again, if you're using ingredients, so the ingredients themselves being kosher, it goes much further than that country. It's going, let's say, for example, just taking an example, you're producing a bulk ingredient here in India, and it's going to Italy, but they want it kosher because they're making pasta and they're selling it to the US and Israel. Things like that we get a lot of those types of things. So you may be surprised maybe even that a company is asking for kosher. We certify aluminum pans in the UAE. In order to make aluminum pans, we have to have sheets of aluminum. The sheets of aluminum are treated with a fat or some sort of substance so that they don't stick. That substance that goes into that aluminum roll has to be kosher. So we get calls sometimes from companies in Bahrain, and they make aluminum sheets, and they want to make sure they can get kosher oil or whatever the type of release agent that they need to use. So we get some interesting calls. We get applications from Afghanistan. We maintain an office in Pakistan. You wouldn't think, but for example, Pakistan exports almost all of its sugar residue alcohol because they're not supposed to be using it in country. So they export it, and they get asked for kosher. So we certify a lot of alcohol in Pakistan. Again, you wouldn't think so, but that's the world. That's business. That's the way it works, So that's the types of things that we encounter on an ongoing basis because most of kosher ingredients are not sold specifically to a kosher buyer. They're sold to somebody that's making a product that eventually will be going to a kosher buyer. And kosher is a mark of quality and adds value, and that's a lot of really why companies look for it. We talked a lot about having a zero tolerance, if you will, that is something which people respect, and that is something which sells. It sells because people value quality and value the fact that there is third-party verification of ingredients and that there is somebody third-party in the facility verifying the ingredients and verifying the processes. Oops. Lost that one. Okay. Okay. And again, kosher indicates additional monitoring, and the fact that your product is kosher certified is also something which means that you care for your client, and you're taking care of them that way. I will talk a little bit about the kosher marketplace. So we mentioned the fact that most sales are outside the Jewish market, if you will, and the reason that people in India, for example, are taking kosher is because they have opportunities to export to companies large and small that are looking for kosher ingredients. So I'll just give an example. So for example, we do a lot of certification in the cashew industry, and the cashew industry, a little bit around Goa, but primarily in Kerala and those areas. A lot of the cashews are imported from Africa, of course. Some are grown in India. And the issues that we're facing with that is that it requires roasting, and not necessarily these places that are doing the roasting are year-round facilities for cashews, because it's a very seasonal type of product. It's a 4 or 5 month period. And what we're concerned about is what else are those facilities being used for in the off-season. Similarly, in the mango type of industries, in the pulp and the juice industries, the season is very short, and what else is going on in those facilities? So we do visitation, both in season when that crop is being harvested and processed, but also off season in order to verify that the facility itself is kosher. Looking at the two main marketplaces I want to take a look at with you are the U.S. marketplace and the Israel marketplace. So this slide up is about the U.S. marketplace, where there are kosher consumers which actually greatly exceed the amount of Jews that live in the U.S. There are people that maintain kosher year-round, and there are people that do so more for holidays than year-round. For people that do so for holidays, it tends to be a very big business because, for example, the Passover holiday, which would be in March, April season, is comparable to, let's say, in a Christian country, that would be like a December, January type of season where there's a lot of holiday parties going on, and around 40% of kosher buying goes on for the Passover holiday. Which is an 8-day, which is an 8-day holiday. Okay, well, I guess we got off there. Okay, these are also listed in your Kosher 101, but these are the countries that are important to kosher because of Jewish population, not necessarily that's the only way to measure things, but Israel has the largest Jewish population, followed by the U.S., followed by France, Canada, the U.K., Argentina, Russia, Germany, Australia, and Brazil. So in these countries, the end buyers are drivers of a lot of kosher. But beyond that, Israel has a mandate similar to, let's say, Gulf countries that you have to have halal. Israel has a mandate that you have to have kosher in order to sell there. So therefore, you have to get certificates of origin. You have to get documents filled out by your kosher supervisor in order to sell into the Israel market. We maintain an office in Israel that is supportive of our clients in order to help them get those necessary documentations taken care of in order to be able to sell in the Israel market. In the U.S., while there's a relatively large Jewish population, but it's also very bi-coastal. It's in metro areas. So, and let's say in the tri-state area in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Miami is a very big center, but Florida in general is a very big Jewish area. The Chicagoland area, Detroit is also a very large Jewish area, and in Los Angeles also. So these are areas that are in major metros, bi-coastal, and they drive a lot of sales because of the population being very concentrated, if you will. And again, in Indian numbers, these are not big numbers. But for driving markets in places that you're trying to sell into, it is definitely big numbers that moves a lot of products. Okay, so we're getting back to the U.S. kosher marketplace. So as far as products that are certified that are made in the U.S. and that are actually being sold in the U.S., these are numbers that you could look at and get an idea for how. The fact is, you walk into a major supermarket, I don't know, a Safeway, a Rouse, any of these large chain supermarkets, and 40% of products on the shelf have a kosher certification of some sort on them. So they're looking at it as an investment to draw customers in, even if they're not looking for kosher for religious reasons, but they're looking for kosher for quality claims, for differentiating between different products. So you're going to have 5 different ketchups on the shelf, and some of them will have kosher, some will not. And the drive of a company is that beyond satisfying those limited kosher religious buyers, that you're looking for people that are going to look at that and say, oh, it got certified, so it's probably of a better quality, it's probably safer, cleaner, makes it a little bit more impactful and a little bit more comfortable for the buyer who looks at the product to actually go ahead and choose one over another. But there's a lot of imports, obviously, of both of products and ingredients into a market like the US, and that has a big impact on a place like India, where people are trying to sell into a market like the US, and besides needing FDA and many other things to be able to sell to the market, there's also the need to differentiate yourself and to get yourself a little bit higher up on the pecking order, if you will. Many major companies, although they're not very focused on the Jewish market, have kosher as one of those checkoffs in order to be able to sell to them. So, for example, you look at companies like Walmart or any of the major like cereal producers, and they're asking for kosher even though not all their products are kosher. Many of the major manufacturers in the US have kosher programs, or they'll have kosher products. But the companies like Nabisco, 80–90% of their products now on the shelf are kosher certified. And they're very major producers. I mean, like Parley Agro, as we were talking about before, they're similar to Parley Agro, if you have a Nabisco, if you're not familiar with them, but General Mills, and these are all companies that have very substantial kosher programs where if a product can be kosher, they want it kosher. And therefore, when they buy ingredients, even if it's not going to go into a specifically kosher product, they're buying it kosher. So things like that. We also have ingredient issues, if you will. So for example, here in India, we've been working on a project with the Parley Agro for 7 years. They wanted to make their mango juice kosher. The only thing is that it's based upon a flavor from an Indian company that is not kosher, so they couldn't make it kosher. So then the same flavor company had a branch in Singapore, which was kosher. So they tried to get them to make the flavor for them kosher, but Indian mango is different. It's a different flavor profile and all that, and they couldn't do it. So we're negotiating with the flavor company to be able to help Parley Agro as a potential customer take the product forward. So it's interesting like that because ingredients are so key to kosher. Every ingredient needing to be kosher on the same level. We don't accept kosher from everybody. We're one of the top 5, and we know who's doing the work and who's not. So therefore, we look at it and say, we're going to take kosher from those that actually do the job, that do the work, that do the heavy lifting, if you will. And therefore, we're not able to take every client or do every project that comes to us. And we're persistent, so maybe one day you'll see little boxes of mango juice with the kosher on it. The other marketplace I want to look at with you is the Israeli marketplace. Now, Israel, again, for India, 6 million people? That's a little city with some suburbs. That's all that is. But in the kosher population, it's a big deal. 6 million people is a big deal. So Israel has 2 impacts. Israel, the fact is that a lot of the product being sold there has to be kosher, because if you want to import it or make it there locally, you need to be certified for kosher, not only because the government requires it, but also because culturally, most people in the country are Jewish. There's around 1.5 million people in the country that are either Christian or Muslim, but the rest of the people are Jewish, and culturally they'll eat kosher. Now, Israel imports a lot more raw material than it actually needs for its own population, because it's a net exporter of food. So they make brands of products and brands that they get exported all over the world into Jewish populations. So again, you have ingredients going to Israel, the end product is going out to the US, to Mexico, to Panama, to places where there's significant Jewish population. So therefore, their buying power is pretty large, because they're they're servicing a much larger population than their own population. And because foods need to be certified kosher in order to be imported there, therefore it affects also a lot of the product that's being bought in. So we're certifying products in, let's say, in India, Sri Lanka, Philippines, and around the region that are going to go into either products that are going to be processed for kosher, or they're going to be ingredients which are going to be made into other ingredients that are going into products. So we're working with a lot of different importers to these countries, and they have different needs as far as what they need products to be certified for kosher. There's a lot of multinational food companies like Nestle, Unilever, Danone, and Pepsi, which partner or own percentages of Israeli companies that are very big in the export food market. And so many people, if you're in Israel, you're buying kosher food even if you're not Jewish. That's just the way it works, because in major brands, if you go into a supermarket there, it's very hard to find a product that's not kosher, both because of law reasons, but also primarily because of market reasons. I mentioned Passover before, and around 40% of sales in the kosher marketplace take place around Passover. And just a quick Bible study, if you will, about what Passover is. Passover celebrates the Jewish people going out of Egypt. They went out very fast, as in go, and they left. Their bread could not rise. So the custom is, a very strong custom, is not to eat leavened bread, and therefore not to eat things which leaven in general. So for some people like myself, because I'm from a European background, things like legumes and rice and all that are not something I could eat over Passover. So we work with other ingredients. So we'll work with, say, a potato starch, or other type of starches, or banana flour, or different things like that for all of our bakery goods. And as I mentioned, 40% of sales take place for the Passover sales. It's a big driver on innovation in food. So if there's something which is not wheat flour and is not a legume or rice and can be used to make something, there's probably somebody in Israel, the US, or elsewhere trying to figure out how to make a product which is sustainable and can be used for Passover. It's not only that, but it's also a long-term project, if you will, that products that can be made without things like corn sweeteners and things like that. So let's say the original Coke, which was made with sugar, is actually made in most Jewish centers of population for Passover by Coke and Pepsi and all that. They make their original formulas with sugar because that's a certification item that is very desirable, because you want to have your Coke and it's Passover and the corn sweetener is not acceptable, so they certify their products for Passover. So large multinationals, small companies, everybody's very involved in trying to figure out the next thing, how to use ingredients, how to use ingredients to make products that they're not really originally made for. And now I will just get a little bit into the education about what kosher is, so you don't go out of here not knowing what kosher is. So we're talking here about what is kosher. So things that are always acceptable as kosher are things that are like raw fruits and vegetables, which, if you will, given to us by God, and that have not been further processed, and they are kosher. Things that are never kosher are things that the Bible specifically prohibits, things like shellfish, fish without both fins and scales, pork, other things like that, that are specifically listed in the Bible. Those are things which are not kosher. And then there's kosher supervised. They're products that are processed and are certified and therefore are kosher after processing. And then some kosher terms. Meat means that anything that comes from a product that comes from a kosher animal that was ritually slaughtered. So any derivatives of it, whether it's a food product or an ingredient, that's what meat means when we're talking about kosher meat. Parv, neutral, means that it has neither meat nor dairy. or it's a byproduct. So most things that we certify in India, I think actually all the products that we certify in India are considered par or neutral. Dairy, products or raw ingredients that have dairy or come from dairy must be kosher, but dairy in kosher is only dairy from an animal which is kosher, and that is animals which chew their cud and split their hooves. So in the Bible, it's very specific about what is a kosher animal. That's a kosher animal. So the milk of a cow is kosher, and if it's not from a cow, it's not kosher. It has to have either be from a cow, a goat, or a sheep. Otherwise, it would not be considered kosher. And the biblical sources for kosher about birds. Birds of prey are not considered kosher, so they are not eaten. And in fish, the Bible lists that it has to have both fins and scales. So therefore, there's a whole bunch of fish that are kosher, but most seafood is not kosher. So anything like lobster and crab and other shellfish are not kosher. And insects are not kosher, except for a specific species of grasshoppers, which is not really common today to find kosher certified grasshoppers, but there are leafy vegetables and all that do have insect infestation, which is why, for example, in the Western world, bagged lettuce is a big deal. It's also certified kosher if the process is good at getting rid of insects. So earlier in my career, I used to go to factories like Dole and different companies like that, and I would be in there to pull samples and go on a light table and check it through and see if the job is being done right. So fruits and vegetables are kosher, but it's just insects are an issue, and there's, again, zero tolerance. So if we're going to certify something, that means we have to know that it absolutely does not have any insects in it. And this I mentioned before. Non-dairy creamer is a very popular thing, at least in the U.S. markets and other markets. But a lot of non-dairy creamer actually has dairy in it. And for people that are avoiding dairy for whatever the reason is, for Jewish people, you're avoiding dairy because mixing milk and meat is a problem. So you don't want to have dairy in something that, for example, coffee, and you're having it after your meat meal, that would be a problem. But if you see these, it says basically that it's non-dairy coffee creamer, and what tips you off to the fact that it's dairy is the kosher symbol. So the kosher symbol has a D next to it, and that means that it's dairy. So even though in large words it says non-dairy, it actually is dairy, and the ingredients do have dairy in them. We have a product next to it right there, which is actually non-dairy, and the reason you know it's non-dairy is because the star K doesn't have a D next to it, or doesn't have the star D on it. So therefore, that's how kosher also helps people that are not specifically looking for it on the kosher aspect, but are looking for it on the ability to use the product despite having, let's say, lactose intolerance. These are some ingredients you could assume that are not kosher. Some of them are because of market conditions. Basically, gelatin can be kosher if it's made from kosher animals or fish. But because of the market of kosher slaughter, if you will, is not big. Because of the amount of population we're talking about, there's not so much going on, so therefore they don't really effectively make kosher certified gelatin. Things like chondroitin and glucosamine and glandulars and animal derivatives, royal jelly, while honey is kosher, but royal jelly is not kosher because it actually has particulate of the bee in it. Grape juice, wider derivatives can be kosher, and we actually use them in religious processes, if you will. Like every Friday night, we do a blessing on a cup of wine or grape juice. It's part of our rituals. But making those ritually acceptable wines and grape juices requires Jewish people to be making it, and therefore it's a little bit difficult. We actually made in Cochin, we sent 3 of our rabbis to a pineapple juice factory, and they did a run of grape juice for us on their machinery. and we had that for a few years, and then we had to start importing again because we ran out. But it's something that for more kind of like sacramental reasons, it has to be done by Jewish people, and therefore it's a little bit difficult. We've been talking to the wine producers and here in India, around Bangalore area and all that, to try to see if we could do a kosher production of wine. But it's the kind of thing that there's not a lot of Jewish population here, but you know, in Mumbai and Cochin and Kolkata and different places, there is a demand for kosher wine. So at this point, it's all imported. But maybe again, one day there could be a kosher Indian wine. Although I heard that a lot of the spirits, the Indian spirits, are really getting up there in the rankings, and companies that are looking into importing them want them kosher. So we've been talking to the ministry about that, trying to figure out how to get a kosher certified run of some of the new and improved Indian drinks. And carmine comes from a beetle. It's a really beautiful red food color, but it comes from a beetle which is not kosher, so it's not kosher. There's a lot of, you know, alternatives, but that's apparently the best red there is out there. And 6 main issues when producing natural and organic kosher products is co-packing, that is to say, sharing of equipment between a kosher producer and a non-kosher producer of products. Dairy, as we mentioned, there can't be dairy in a product that's to be parv or acceptable for neutral use. Processing aids, when we get a application, we're asking for every ingredient. It could be a spray, it could be a release agent, it could be anything. It's all part of what has to be listed as ingredients to make something kosher. Colors and flavors are a little bit complex in kosher because a flavor could be made from 100 different ingredients. It could take that many components to get the exact flavor you're looking to get. And every one of those ingredients has to be kosher. So sourcing becomes a problem, and certification and verification of it, and the actual vessels in which it's mixed in and held in. So colors and flavors do tend to be an issue. Shared equipment, again, is kosher and non-kosher in your factory, and insect infestation, which is all over the place as far as agricultural products. With temperatures, with holding times, how fresh it is, and all that, insects are a significant problem for us as far as certifying for kosher. Another thing as far as kosher equipment issues, that we have cold productions and hot productions. That cold productions in kosher equipment, even though it's stainless steel and certified that it doesn't absorb flavors or anything, but as far as kosher regulation, every equipment absorbs. So if it's a hot process, it absorbs easier or more effectively, and may require more kosherization in order to make the equipment able to be used for kosher production. But with cold production, it requires a much simpler clean out, and there's consideration that needs to be done as far as whether you can go back and forth between kosher and non-kosher equipment. As I mentioned, there's a lot of people that are not specifically using kosher for kosher. They're using kosher for their own needs based upon things that they have, whether it's lactose intolerance that we talked about, or whether it's vegans and vegetarians that want to know more about what's in the product. Kosher helps people like that figure out if a specific product meets their needs. And accommodates, as I mentioned, again, lactose, gluten, and shellfish intolerance. Gluten because of Passover. A lot of products that are certified for Passover are very desirable by people that are celiacs and have issues with gluten, because there's very little gluten products which are used in Passover productions. Kosher is a third-party certification, which again is a confidence-building measure. It's part of what kosher is, that people understand that the kosher inspectors go into factories worldwide, that are looking at ingredients and are looking at the processes in the plant, and certify for kosher based upon both ingredients and the actual facility, if the facility can or cannot be certified for kosher. You know, those of us that go into factories, you know, other people's factories, realize that there's a lot of different types and levels of operators out there. People operate their business it's a reflection of what they believe is right. So you have factories that are laboratories, even though they don't need to be, and you have factories that are less so because people can justify get away from doing what they need to do. But the kosher certification is really looking directly at those things which affect kosher. It's not really measuring things like Zed program does. We're looking to make sure that on an ongoing basis, if we're not there, that product can be kosher, even though it's there's no on-site supervision on an ongoing basis from a rabbi. Yeah. Okay. This is basically the kosher way to get it certified is basically through an application, a follow-up. It requires an on-site inspection. There's a review of the ingredients, and very often there's a need to substitute ingredients or to substitute suppliers in order to have all kosher ingredients for certification. The on-site inspection is a requirement. We had a lot of problems with that during COVID, but you know, I guess we all had different problems during COVID and doing a lot of things virtually, which didn't work out as well as we would have liked. So we're back to our regular practice of getting people into factories every day, as often as we can. We issue a contract, and based upon agreement with the contract and payment, the kosher certificate is issued. If any of you do want a kosher application, again, if you could just give Sini a business card with the word application on it. And again, if you do want a kosher directory, we have those also that can be mailed out of the Cochin office. So just let her know. We'll be happy to get that to you. These are what the forms look like. Our data accompanied data form, which is basically the ability to apply for kosher. Looking at things just like what the company is itself versus where the plant is, what are the ingredients, are there any kosher certified ingredients that we could evaluate for it, and then kosher also does a lot of work in private label, but we need to trace it. So if a company is making something and they want to have the client's name on it, that's something that we can accommodate, but there is a three-way agreement that has to be issued in order to allow that, so that the buyer doesn't use the symbol on something that was not bought from the manufacturer that owns that kosher certificate. And that's what a kosher certificate looks like. That's the name of the company. It has the products and the status that they're dairy, meat, or PARV neutral. Any conditions of certification, for example, that the symbol has to be on the product, or that it needs a rabbi signature, or whatever it is in order to verify that it is kosher. And then we have a UKD, which is a tracing system in the kosher certification agency world to basically make sure that you can verify that a product is actually certified kosher. Okay, that's where we are. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And again, the same thing, if there are questions after we leave, sure the FTCCI will be able to get us those questions.
Good afternoon, Mr. Van. I have two questions. I represent the pharmaceutical industry. We make dry powder inhalation for asthma surgery. The capsules are not to be swallowed, actually capsule is to be punctured and the powder is to be held. Now in our product, we use two of the products which you mentioned in the list here. One is the gelatin. Yeah. Now gelatin is from bovine source. It is presumed, but it's not the case. Today, the leading capsule manufacturing company, ACG, is manufacturing two types of capsules, BSCC and TSCC. One is bovine, one is non-bovine. When we give our documents and regular for registration in various countries, many people do ask the source of gelatin, and we have to provide the certificate. It is accepted. There is one term. Number three is from the lactose. Now, lactose is a dairy product. we import from Europe because ours is inhalation grade lactose, not the compressible in tablet test like in India. There also people do ask, halal certificate. From which source it comes to say like, okay. So I could see in your presentation, it's only predominantly you are into food industry. Have you thought of or have you made any inroads into the pharma industry? Because this kind of certificate we do give indirectly in our brochure. But suppose I give one course certificate, that okay, this products are vegan and safe. That is question number one. And number two, being in pharma industry, we have everything is gone by the pharmacopoeia. We have British pharmacopoeia, US pharmacopoeia, marking the lecture pharmacopoeia and things like that. I could see only one reference book in your presentation, which is all based on the Bible. Is it only book you refer, or there is any academic support? Without writing your sentiments and feelings, I would like to have this answer. Thank you.
Okay. So we certify ACG. We have 4 factories of theirs that we certify currently. So I'm familiar with the fact that they do both. And they're one of those more complex types of companies that we need multiple visits to because they're running both bovine and non. And we certify obviously only the non-bovine product. No, we're familiar with the fact that there is the ability to make things without gelatin, obviously, because that's a lot of, and these are the formed type of capsules versus, let's say, the veggie caps, which are also certified. Many of them are certified around the world for kosher. So the veggie caps, which are the two-piece caps, is one thing versus the actual formed product, which is made from things that like ACG makes. So I'm not sure if I answered the first question yet, but we definitely do certify in that industry, and we're able to. The complexity that you face in that industry is, again, that a lot of the ingredients in India won't be certifiable, but a lot of the foreign product ingredients are certifiable. I'll tell a story. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'll tell it anyway. I went a very large state around here. I went there to certify a mushroom factory, and when I was on the campus of this factory, I saw that there was a cheese factory there. And my concern in kosher is if there's any interconnection, as in, for example, if the steam comes from the same boiler and they recapture the steam and send it back to the boiler, and it comes back from a cheese factory and from the mushroom factory and gets recirculated and sent back out again, then I have a problem, because if the cheese is not kosher, it makes my mushrooms not kosher. So things like that, interconnectivity, if you will. So I asked about it, but I was a little bit concerned because the mushroom factory looks fine, but if we have a steam problem with the cheese factory, that's a problem. They said, no worries. You can't make any cheese in this state because the milk is not milk. So without some milk fat in the milk, you can't make it. It's water, it's color, it's starches, it's all kinds of stuff, but it's not milk. So we moved our factory to Gujarat. We're making cheese over there. There's nothing in that building. So when you deal with things like that, we don't certify dairy products in India because we don't feel comfortable that it's always going to be what it's supposed to be. So we end up suggesting to companies, sure, import your dairy products from New Zealand or Australia or other countries where dairy is very pure, if you will. And there is actually a whole part of the kosher certification system that certain countries with strong governmental regulation are acceptable for kosher dairy, and other countries, if it's an unknown or if there's suspicions, are not. And that's part of what goes on in general. And there are kosher agencies that will certify dairy in India, but we haven't felt, we did a production that we were able to monitor of ghee, but besides that, we haven't done any other dairy because of concerns about the source of dairy. So you're mentioning importing from Europe or something like that is probably what would have to be done in order to do a product that has dairy. We don't currently have any clients that we're doing dairy for, but it's something that we would certainly consider. So that's the first question. I hope that answered that question. And the second question is, This is the way it works. Everything is based upon the Bible, but interpretations are what our lifeblood is now. This is how we work now. There's food innovations all the time. I mean, and the most recent things is, meat made in the lab. So you have to be able to apply your Bible to today. So on an ongoing basis, there are rabbis that are respected, do the research, and come down with rulings. So basically, when I take an application from a company, we send that application to our office in Baltimore. And in that office in Baltimore, we have a rabbi and his disciples, if you will, people that have been working for him for 20, 30 years, and they make determinations. And those determinations are what our law is now as far as kosher. So it's based upon the Bible, it's based upon principles that are in the Bible, based upon writings that were made in the Middle Ages, based upon writings that were made more recently, and then they compile this information, and it's not in a book form, but it's in a knowledge form, if you will, and they make determinations on every application if there's a question, there's something that's not straightforward. So that's kind of how it works. It works through ongoing study, ongoing interpretation, and ongoing decisions. So that's how it's done in the modern day.
My question was basically like all these data are based on the various pharmacopoeia standards or in the internal companies, SOPs and procedures and things like that. I mean, my question was pinpointedly, if I add into that 5 bulky dossier, 1 dossier certificate, would be considered as a powerful vegan product just because it is based on Bible theory, or there is having some more supporting reference pharmacopoeia? This is how I'm looking at, because eventually I should have some value addition to my dossier in registration of the product.
Right.
Whether I get it or not is not very clear.
Right. So we're looking at basically at 2 sides of it. One side of it is, can you measure the value? That's one side of it, and the other side of it is, does it add value to the actual product? That's basically the 2 things you're looking at. As far as measuring, it's kind of simple, because if you're getting clients that are specifically asking you for kosher, that's where your return on investment is. As far as in your dossier, building a dossier that has kosher in it, very often you're going to be asked for that to make that part of your documentation. So in that case, it's a requirement, it's a checkoff, if you will. As I mentioned, a lot of big companies, they have checkoffs for kosher, even though kosher is really not their focus, because they're using it as a way of pruning down, if you will, those companies that they're going to consider buying from, because they want to see them as people that are upstanding corporate citizens and that are doing all kinds of good things. So they consider kosher like a good thing, as in if you can meet kosher, then it helps us further consider you for usage in our facilities. So I'm not sure if I'm answering the question 100%, but hopefully I'm getting close there.
Okay. Yeah, this is Diwakar from Avistar. Here, this side. Thank you for engaging presentation. And certification based on the religious and regional sentiments, it's okay. But now the elephant in the room and the overall issue is how we are becoming carbon neutral or net zero. All these things are. While validating the manufacturing plants and all, is the kosher has what kind of measures they take, whether these people who are producing the products, how far they are going ahead with these carbon neutral and green practices? Do you have any practices to measure these and validate for your certification?
The short answer is no, that we really, we're a very specific, very focused certification. I mentioned before, we've done stuff like with organic, and we've done stuff with halal, which is a little bit more in our toolkit, if you will. We're not really qualified to go outside that area of expertise and to comment on things that I think that there's more expertise probably elsewhere for it. So I would say that we're not really working actively on carbon neutral or Z or anything else like that. we have our own little toolkit that we're working in, which has been effective for us to focus, if you will, to do the right things by our clients by being very focused on what we do well. And what we do well is certify for kosher and help people get to markets they may not be able to get to otherwise, and to help them create stronger relationships and ongoing relationships with their clients on a better level.
I have a question. SARK, does it help in the certification process as well as give us the certificate?
So we do a few things. We help with sourcing ingredients, as in like printing things like directories and having people that are dedicated B2B people. We make it easier. We guide, if you will. We certify, but we're not like we're not governmental, so we're not prohibited from helping our clients out to find ingredients or to do sourcing. We also try the best as we can to help on an aftermarket basis where we have B2B people. We print directories. We maintain a pretty robust website for companies to be able to find companies that are selling products that they want. We participate in a lot of shows. I just came back from Seattle, and we go to a lot of different shows around the world and participate in and do education in that manner to help our companies be successful with the kosher.
Okay.
So it's more the observation because all of them has been dealing much with
Israel Jews across the world in top 10 countries and things like that, and very much less on Indian food consumption pattern and other things. It's just an observation.
So you're saying
Why I'm interested as a participant here in Jewish food and all, Indian food. Thanks.
so I mean, you're looking at it from the Indian perspective in India. Okay, so as the chairman had mentioned before, so people do look at it as a quality claim, and therefore adopting kosher as one of those many types of regulations, if you will, in your plant, obviously help enhance both what you do and also the image of what you do. So when people ask me about the kosher population in India, I tell them there's around 5,000 Jews in the whole country. There's no big buying going on because of that. But it's really, the export market is really, as far as the dollars and cents, it's the export market that's focused on India as a source, both as a primary source for specific things, but also as a backup source, because there's a lot going on in China, if you will. So that little elephant in the room is that India is working very hard. We see companies in the last 2 years that we never had applications from that are making products that were thought of as that's all China. Whether you're doing with citric acid or you're doing whatever those ingredients are that used to be looked at as, you know what, they cornered the market on it, they got the pricing advantage on it, we can't do anything. But now we have Indian applications for those products because they're realizing that with what's going on in the world, it's not always impossible to sell against China. They I was just at Seattle and I met some of our clients from China, and they're facing some real big headwinds. They're closing factories. I had a company who closed a factory and shipped the whole factory to Saudi Arabia, and they set it up over there because they could not compete with a 20% U.S. Taxation on it. They could not compete with it. So they moved the whole factory to be able to sell into the U.S. They moved to Saudi Arabia. So and the regular thing is the next plant that we're building is in Vietnam. The next plant that we're building is in Cambodia. So I'm saying there's a lot going on in the world, and we're kind of, we're looking at it, we're seeing it, but we're also realizing that it means that we're, as a business, having to figure out how to service a lot of different clients in a lot of different places we never thought we would have to. And India is definitely looking, as far as on the ground, looking at competing with a lot of things that they never really considered competing with before on cost. They could not. And now they're having to because there's a demand out there. People are looking for backup sources. And India is definitely one of those places that they're looking to. Yeah. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much, sir. Excellent presentation. It will be useful to the food processing sector. Now the time is for presentation ceremony. I request the President of FTCCI, Suresh Kumar Singalji, and Chairman of IDC Committee, and also speakers, Mr. Kanti and Mr. Joel, please come onto the dais, sir. I request the President of FTCCI, Sri Suresh Kumar Singalji, please present a memento to Mr. Kanti Kosuru, Managing Director, Bami Business Solutions Private Limited. Please, big round of applause. I request Chairman of IDC, Srinivas Garmalavaru, please present a memento to Mr. Joel. He is Regional Director, Star K Kusher Certification, South Asia and Southeast Asia. Thank you, sir. I request Srinivas Garmalavaru, please propose the vote of thanks.
First, would like to thank all the participants for your patient hearing. And then the stars of the day, I really must thank Mrs. Kanti and Mr. Weinberger for their compelling presentation. Very crisp, insightful. I'm sure our audience would have loved it. And then finally, a big thank you to the office bearers of FTCCI and FTCCI backend team led by Mahesh, Sujata, and Harita. And finally, we would like to hold these kind of programs, basically certification programs and these kind of programs for MSMEs, elevation to the next level. We always find that MSMEs get stuck in their own orbit and not able to go from micro to small, small to medium, and so on and so forth. So these certification programs will definitely help them to elevate their levels of excellence and go on to next level. So on that note, request all of you to have lunch, and hopefully we'll have more and more sessions going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. Please take the lunch. I request President, please present a plan to senior guest. He will help to our Mr. Goel to present today's session. Please, ma'am, please. All of you, please join the lunch, sir.